Ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to meet the ROAMies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Becca. Thank you very much.
It's always cool to get people that roam in here.
Well, most of them do roam. That's how they get here.
That's true, but these guys actually just took up the whole herald of the whole thing. They're going to represent all of them.
I know.
That's right.
I mean,
I know.
it is the ROAMies.
That's right.
It's not the ROAMies. It's the ROAMies.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
they were.
and the ROAMies consist of Alexa
Yeah.
and Rory
Yeah.
and Michelle.
Yes.
And Michelle is a boy. He's a man,
That's right.
Yeah.
but he came to us today from Switzerland. First time in
Yay.
the United States. So
Right.
this is going to be an awesome night.
glad
Yeah.
Wir ROAMies. Oh, sorry. I don't know how to say it in German.
So let's start at the beginning, guys. Let's Rory, you and Alexa in particular here. Tell us about where you were born and raised, and start there and kind of what got you into music to start with.
Why don't you start, baby? Ladies first.
Oh, thanks. I grew up
what a gentleman he is.
I know, isn't he? He's great. I grew up in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and the Woodlands, Texas, which is north of Houston. And my family, we sort of started in Albuquerque, went to Houston, and came back to Albuquerque. So I feel like I really grew up in both places. And sometimes I'll get confused. You know, I'll have to remember, wait, do I know them from New Mexico or do I know them from Texas? Mm-hmm. And now some of my New Mexico friends have moved to the Houston area. And so it's like my worlds are colliding, but that's really cool. And so we grew up on New Mexican food and Tex-Mex food and all that. So that's, what I love. And
Music. How'd you get into music?
Well, my sister sang in church. My sister was a huge role model for me. 5 years older, 6 grades older than me. And so she was always singing in church. And I was always performing. She and I would do plays for our parents and the neighbors.
I can see
Right.
that.
My sister, when she was in softball, I was in the bleachers doing splits on the bleachers. And yay, I was just...
Involved.
Yes. And, even before I could be an official cheerleader, my friends and I would get together and we would create. I asked my mom to make us outfits, and we had little cheerleading outfits, and we cheered for their brothers' soccer teams. So even when there wasn't a real opportunity to perform, we always made one. So I was always performing, and I guess maybe a cute guy got me into music. I don't know. And
Other than me?
No, I'm sure it was only you.
Yeah.
And I think just my sister's mostly influence got me singing, and I started piano lessons and voice lessons and did that whole thing all through high school and middle school. And I actually started piano when I was in 3rd grade, and I played all the way through college, and you would never know it. Because I'm not good. You'll notice that Rory is the one playing keyboards tonight.
Yes.
And he's not good either.
There's this thing, it's called practicing, and sometimes you should do that. So, and to you, Rory, your turn.
All right, my name is Rory Partain, and I am from South Louisiana. Yeah, let's give it up for South Louisiana.
ass.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Crawfish.
That's right. Crawfish, alligators, lots of squirrel gumbo growing up.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, well,
Ew.
it happens to the best
We
of
live
us.
in LA and would feed the squirrels, so he
Yeah, big
changed
old
his
fat
changed
fox
his
squirrels,
tune.
and I thought, man, you could make a big old gumbo with these things.
Nope, they're our pets. We are feeding the squirrels.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Well, so I grew up in South Louisiana, and I came from a musical family, really. My mama always sang, and she was always traveling and singing. And then my brother started playing trumpet. There's 5 of us in the family: Ricky, Randy, Karen, Ronnie, and Rory. So I'm the youngest of 5. My brother Ronnie, who's a year older than me, started playing trumpet in middle school. So I was like, okay, I'll play trumpet in middle school, So then he and I became like the local trumpet heroes, if you will, At least in our own minds. That was kind of great. So I paid my way through college on trumpet, but I was going on vacation one year with my grandparents, and the rest of the family was at home, and I got a phone call saying that my family was going to sing at church, like everybody together, the wives and everybody. There was like 10 people on stage or something crazy, right? And so I was like, oh, that's so fun that you did it when I left. But anyway, I came back, and so my family started singing together, and this was my first time really doing much singing at all. Before, it was all trumpet. And as I got into high school, I started singing a lot more. There was no choir at our school, so it was all playing football and trumpet. That was my focus, And then I got into college, and football wasn't going to pay me nothing because I wasn't that good at all. So trumpet, they said, we'll pay you to go to school. So I was like, okay. I was a vocal major, but I made all my money playing trumpet. I had a vocal scholarship at the school I was at. It's a really small.
Pay to play.
That's it, man. That's it. They pay me to play, so I'm making money going to school. So I started singing in college. I was a vocal major. Got my degree in college in vocal performance. Well, I was in college for 4 years and had an opportunity to go on the road with a 5-time Grammy winner. So that came out of nowhere. I'm from Moss Bluff, Louisiana. You know, right? Yeah. Next thing I know, I'm
Squirrel
traveling.
eating.
Exactly, baby. Next thing I know, I'm traveling
Snake
the world.
hunting.
It was awesome. Yeah, it was really cool. And then I transferred to Belmont University in Nashville to finish my degree, which is where she was in school. She transferred from Baylor.
Sick-'em Bears.
Yeah.
And we were in all the same classes because
That's right.
he was the same major as me. So
She couldn't stay away. So next thing I know, we're on a date. Yeah. So that's how I got into music.
So y'all meet up in Nashville.
That's
You
right.
meet up
Belmont.
in college.
Yep. Yep.
And then at what point in time did you decide to take that college meeting onto the road?
Well, that's interesting. It started because I was on the road with this other artist. So I was
So
in
who were
school.
you on the road with?
His name is Larnell Harris. He was a black gospel artist. And so I was with him on the road and in school full time. It was really tough. So I wasn't doing much around school, but she was singing all the time in Nashville. So I just kind of started singing backup for her and on occasion plunking around on keys, kind of a thing. And that's really kind of how it started. Our musical thing is me working for her. And now that we're married, it's never ending.
You're still working for her.
That's right. You're working for the woman every night and day. That's right. Proud Rory.
But
How did the ROAMies come into the picture?
Okay, so Rory eventually joined and then eventually bought a 18-piece big band.
Yeah.
And so,
I'm from
because,
South Louisiana,
he's trumpet boy, right? He just said. So he's like, he played trumpet with them, sang with them, and I was like, I think you're supposed to be doing more of that. And eventually we found a way to get a loan to buy a band. And so we did that. But at the same time, I had all my solo stuff going on. So sometimes we'd go on the road, and if there was room on the bus, then I would go with the big band. And if not, then, I'm just home by myself, or, and when I'd go, I'd sing on a couple songs and be the CD sales girl.
And you were living in Nashville at the time?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And then, just for my stuff, sometimes he would come, sometimes not. So it just depend on the tour, the room on the bus, does it make sense, whatever. And then we did a string of dates together where we would do a co-bill, because his big band is all cover songs. It's all the Frank Sinatra stuff. He's amazing with that. And so it's all those standards, but that's not what he writes. And so when he got a little arsenal of, these are great songs that I've written, we started doing a few more dates together.
Sharing a
in
guitar
this
player.
In this same situation.
acoustic setting, yeah.
Sharing a guitarist. And after the show, but he would do a lot of his jazz big band tunes, and people would say, well, where's the CD with you together? And we're like, okay, see, he's big band. You heard that jazz song? Yeah, he's big band, and I'm pop, and we're nothing alike, and we're so different, and,
And we're
at the
married. That would be so cheesy.
Yeah, it
to
was
do a
really
husband
cheesy
and
at the
wife
time
thing,
that we
right?
started doing that, and now it's cool.
Helen, you and I are cheesy.
Yeah.
Well,
baby.
they say opposites attract. So.
Ooh, right.
But now it's cool. Like, now it works.
Yeah, the husband-wife thing's everybody's doing it now.
Yeah,
right?
everybody's doing these duos. So, but yeah, so everybody just kept saying, where's that CD? You better make one. And we're like, okay. So because people had seen us in this context and more acoustic, that seemed like the natural
direction to go.
Yeah, to put us together with more an acoustic based thing. And I really was getting passionate about banjo and cello. I wanted banjo and cello together because they should be. And I was like, whatever we do needs to have banjo and cello. So again, the acoustic thing just made more sense with us together, with how he writes and how I write. We're, again, very different, but we just started writing more together and started recording and going on the road, and we formed the ROAMies.
And
By
where
popular
did the name
demand.
The ROAMies come from?
Kind of just popped in my head.
Yeah, my nickname growing up was Ro. My family would call me, hey, Ro, and friends and stuff like that.
And
So she
so
had a
in my
wild hair
head,
and
I
a-
was like, ROAMies. We roam around the world, duh.
Yeah.
So it just
See?
There you go.
And I was
it kind of came quickly to my
okay,
brain.
We'll call it
And
that.
so tell us about how you got a hold of Michelle and how he
Oh my
That's a
goodness.
good
and how he came into the
You know,
picture.
if Michelle, if you want to come up and talk, you can just get up and talk in his mic.
in English.
Are you shy?
Yeah, my English is not.
Don't.
So
Your
good for a
English is
radio
great.
show.
No, it's perfect for a radio show. That's what makes it cool.
Excuse me.
We travel to Europe every year, sometimes like 3 times
We're
a
kind
year.
of addicted to it. I'm
Tours and
just
stuff
saying.
like that, you know, doing this same kind of setting. And we had been invited to sing for a friend's brother's wedding. And we had no other plans to go to Europe, and we were like,
That's not going to pay for flights.
Yeah, you
That's
know,
not
singing
gonna-
at your brother's wedding, and we love you to death, but can you book some other gigs? And as a matter of fact, we can't fly a band over, so can you look for a professional guitar player that we could use while we're there?
All of our guys were kind of depleted. When we're in Europe, we usually use Finnish musicians.
Yeah, traditionally, yeah.
And but we have a few guys in other countries that we pull from when it makes sense. But we do a lot of work in Finland. So, but I think nobody was available at the time that we needed, and so we said, hey, can you just keep an eye out, whatever. She's not in the music industry. She's not in music circles, so she doesn't know anybody.
No, as a matter of fact, she's the #1 knitter in Switzerland, right?
knitter?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
like crochet hats,
crocheting. Yeah, it's amazing.
She's
#1 by competition. She won it.
Yeah. So, and she's super cool. Anyway,
She is.
so
Renate.
she was just walking around when we were having these back and forth. I got this email one day, and she said, "Now, this is kind of silly." However, she wrote it in her best English, but I found a guy busking. I was walking in the subway and
in
saw
other
this
words,
guy
he's playing
busking.
on the street.
No,
For those
we
of you
know
who don't know
what-
what busking is, yeah, he's playing on the
And
street.
he seemed pretty good, and I got his number for you.
She showed me the email,
And
and I
that
said,
was you.
"Yeah." And I said, "I don't think so."
We were
Some
kind of
street guy.
scared, but you never know. I mean, people can
Yeah.
be good.
Yeah.
And so
Stanley Jordan started out playing on the streets in New
Well-
York City, and you'll never
Come
hear
on,
about
yeah,
a guitar
right.
player.
I mean, well, and so we said, okay, we'll send him a couple songs and have him learn them, right? And send us a recording of him playing them. We'll see what it sounds like. And that's where it started. We're like, yeah, okay, he can cut it. Yeah, he's pretty good.
let's do this.
So we got over, met him. We're like, yeah, he's really good.
Yeah.
And I think we've done 3 tours.
He's
You've
been a
joined us on
part
3
of.
tours?
He's been a part
Yeah.
of 3 different
Yeah.
tours
Yep.
Well, welcome.
So,
We're glad to have
yeah.
you here.
Yes.
in Europe, but first time to America.
That's right.
This summer, he is in school to train to teach music, English, and math. And so they have to do a project every year, and so we are his project for his school.
Oh, okay.
Big project.
So we are trying to show him, our tour that we're on now is a 40-date tour, and we are
New
going to
York
be
to LA.
hitting everything from California to New York and trying not only to get our music out and enjoy the country, but also so he can see the world and all
See
that good
America
stuff.
for the first time.
The world of
There you go.
America.
Yeah, baby.
Well, one thing that our listening audience can't see, but we can, is this banner for Holy Guacamole. And you
Yes.
had a few packages of it out, and we're going to get to
Sample
eat
it.
some of
We're gonna
that
do a
here
taste
after the
test.
show.
That's right,
Yeah.
baby.
How did you get in with Holy Guacamole? What's
that
the story
fun?
there?
Well, that's a good story. I'll let her tell most of it, but it started when she approached me and said that there was not health
It's
foods.
the
Natural.
Natural Products Expo in California.
Yeah.
And it's held every year. And I worked at it last year, and I was like in heaven because it's like Whole Foods on steroids. It's like all the natural products there, and
Yeah.
you just they give out food all day.
So we've been living in Los Angeles, right, for several years, and we've been spending some time at the family farm in Mississippi. So at this point, we're at the family farm in Mississippi, and she tells me, "I want to fly to Los Angeles and go to this expo." Well, why am I going to pay for a week of you in Los Angeles? Anyhow, so finally she just kept pushing and pushing. Okay, you can go for a week in Los Angeles. Because, Los Angeles is pretty awesome. We love LA, and being away from it has been really difficult for her. So
I love LA.
I was like, all right, you can go.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I wanted to go, besides that it's just fun, is that we Rory and I we try to be more health conscious, especially on the road. It's so hard to eat well. It's so hard to take care of yourself your routine. You're lucky to just get sleep. And so we have to work extra hard to try to take care of ourselves so we can function and sing and all that stuff. It's just kind of a part of who we are, and we wanted a tour sponsor, and we wanted to promote somebody that we could connect with and feel excited about and be like, hey, we use this product. Let us tell you about it.
Yeah.
And so that's why I went to the expo, and I, went around to talk to my favorite brands, and I was talking, and I was meeting new brands that I had never heard of, because sometimes they're just introducing themselves at these expos. And what's great is that the presidents, the CEOs, the marketing people, they're all at this convention.
For all the different companies.
So the decision makers are all there in one place. I'm trying to make this short. On the second day, so I'm going around, I'm making the rounds. This place is huge, and it just takes forever to get through.
I've worked the convention center there and other
Oh,
things.
yeah.
In Anaheim. It's right next to Disneyland. Woo! And so anyway, the second day, so I went to this one booth. He said, okay, you need to meet our marketing guy. Okay, I was like, well, let me know when he's here. So he got my number. He texted me when the marketing guy came over, and I, went to their booth and gave him my spiel. And I said, this is what we're doing this summer. We've got this 2-month tour plan. And Mishi was the instigator of the tour because he was coming to town. So we're like, okay, this is cool. So I give him the spiel. I'm like, this is what we would love to do. This is what we're about. And he's like, well, so how many sponsors are you looking for? And I said, well, we need, a certain amount of money. So however many it takes to get that money. He's like, well, can we just be your exclusive sponsor? And I was like,
let me think about that.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
And, and so since the whole team was there, he could, he pitched it to her and conversed with them, and they just felt really good about it, and we did too. And so I was like, this is great. So on the second day of the convention, we had a tour sponsor, and
the cool thing about this
they've been
is
great.
It's a product that we buy.
Yeah.
For reals.
We do.
So we're very familiar with it.
It's
so.
a wonderful
So
product.
fun.
It is
No
a great
preservatives.
And you can
it's
buy
fantastic.
it, like, where do you guys buy it? Do
I
you
think
like
we
at
get
your
ours at Costco.
at Costco?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Costco.
Yeah.
But
it's
we
fresh.
bought it at HEB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
So
Okay.
you can get it at if you have Kroger or Ralph's. That's our stores in Tennessee and
Walmart, too,
LA.
I think, maybe.
Walmart
Yeah,
has
Walmart
it.
all the Walmarts has it here.
So it's accessible, but
That-
it's
that's
fresh.
that's how we connected with them. And
Believe
they've
me,
been amazing.
people in Texas know Holy Guacamole.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we're
So
talking
fun.
about.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
So, Rory, you
we're
see
glad to
now?
have them as your-
Yeah.
All
well,
that griping, well,
Girl,
yeah, I'll let you go.
listen.
See, she was a rock star for you.
She was,
Come
and that's
on.
what I told her. She called that second day and she said, I got a sponsor, and they don't want me to talk to anybody else the rest of the week. Yeah, that's what you heard from me, Cricket. Yeah, I was like,
You know what it reminds me of is Delbert McClinton's song, Have a Little Faith in Me.
don't bring that kind of stuff up here. Everyone talk.
Hey, it's what it is. She proved herself.
She
didn't
killed it. She did, though. And they've been so
we love them.
wonderful. Oh,
They're,
my goodness.
their product tastes great, but they're really good people.
Yeah.
And it's
We
fun.
did get into one package of it.
Yeah, we did.
Come on.
We made a hamburger with
We had
guacamole.
well, I
on
had
it
to have
the
a
other day.
cheeseburger with guacamole on
And
it.
with
It was
holy
delicious.
guacamole on it.
Holy.
That's right.
Yes,
That's right.
of course.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, it's good.
And we appreciate we woke up Saturday morning to a case of holy guacamole at the front door.
And of course, Randy's first thing is, Helen, what did you order now?
Helen,
You want
and I
a whole
forgot that
case?
you were having it shipped here. You know, and it was like, shut up, Randy.
That's awesome.
Well, they sent
yeah.
at least there are 3 flavors left, right?
Yeah.
So we'll do a taste test with our audience here, and we'll find out which flavor
We've got
wins.
these good chips here to
Oh,
try.
listen to that. Yes.
Getting it going.
Yes.
Yeah,
Multi-grain
and we will
even.
do this and we'll discuss it in the music set.
That's
Yep.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that
we'll
works for
announce
me.
the winning flavor out of what they sent.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Now, one other question that I've got for you guys. Who influenced you as a writer the most? For who made you want to write?
Yeah, for me it was growing up. My musical influences were really varied growing up there in South Louisiana. You know, there's a lot of jazz from Satchmo. My brothers were listening to the Doobie Brothers and Three Dog Night and Bread. Ray Charles is one of my absolute biggest influences as a singer. Listened to a lot of Nat King Cole and Perry Como. You know, LPs my mom had from way back. And so I grew up listening to that kind of stuff. But my writing was really influenced by the soulful side of things and country music. I would turn on the radio, and country music is what I listened to.
So country souls.
Yeah, man, and because they're about the story. It's about the song, the lyric. And I love pop music and everything, but for me, that's what kind of stuck in me. And so when I write, it tends to be sort of the soulful side that comes out. And I think about it like this: the difference between a good word and the right word when I'm writing a song. It drives her crazy sometimes because I'm
well,
detail
no, I agree.
guy.
I totally understand.
Yeah, it's like,
Helen and I have held up songs for a few years over one word.
Yes.
So
we have a song that is just that same way.
We still have a few pages.
Yeah.
We better get on it.
Because it's the difference between turning on a light and lightning striking.
Right.
A good word versus the right word. That's
Right.
the lightning striking.
Right.
You go, whoa,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yes, it just feels right. So anyway, that's my influences would be more from the soulful. I can write the jazz kind of thing, but when I'm just sitting down and it's flowing out of me, you'll hear.
Have you ever had that situation where there was a word that you always wanted to get in the song and you just waited, and then all of a sudden, bam.
She did.
Boy, I've had that happen a few times.
Yeah.
Portend.
What was that song?
Portend. I always wanted to get portend.
Portend. That's
Portend. And I got
awesome.
it into a song, and Helen and
It's like I said,
Barbara both
you
said,
misspelled pretend.
And I said, no,
That's
I
funny.
didn't. No, I didn't.
I didn't even know what it meant.
And then I had to get trepidation in one song. Too. So what was your word you had to get in, Alexa?
Oh, I did write that.
did
It
write
floods
that.
the carpets.
Well, yeah, but
I
no,
don't know.
but there was a word in there, and I was like, "What is that word?" And you're like, "Well, I just always liked it. I wanted to use it." And I think it was in that song. But
It was. You're right. You're totally right.
see, I know my
Ebullition,
woman.
I think.
Maybe that ebullition. I think that might have
Ebullition.
been it.
What does that mean?
Look
Like
that one up.
ebullient, so it's like bubbling up inside of you.
Oh, okay.
And it's,
Cool
Yeah.
word.
And she
Right?
explained it by saying it floods the carpets. I'm just saying. Anyway, that's my woman's
works.
word.
We had Butch Morgan and Ken Gaines in here last week, and it was so funny because Butch said, going on the road with this guy is no fun. He listens to the dictionary when he's driving down the road.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that would not be fun.
Yeah,
That would not be fun.
We are very different writers, that's for sure.
Yeah. I wanted to be, a performer and singer. And so I had my ambitions set, and I'm like, this is what I want to do. And so on the radio, a DJ was interviewing this artist, and she talked about writing songs. And I would always I would go to as many concerts as I could and talk to artists after the show and be like, what are the bad parts of this career? What are the good parts of this career? So I would know exactly what I'm getting into, and as much as possible. But I think it was this radio interview that kind of clicked in my head that you should be writing songs. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I better start writing songs.
Been
All
writing
right.
cheers for years.
And so, so I was a cheerleader. Well, we created our own cheers all the time. And so it was a natural thing for me to do in that way. And so you will find that my songwriting comes from my cheerleading side of me. And I write all the happy, fun,
happy, hooky, fun.
She's going to wear a
That's-
pom-pom for us later
Yeah,
when we have
pretty
the
much,
guacamole.
yeah.
right.
Yep. Ah, Alexa, you're so fine. You're so fine. You blow my mind, Alexa. Yeah. Yeah, and I tend to be the depressing. I'm gonna do something to myself.
You know
Yeah.
what?
Guy.
You're me.
Come on.
She's him.
Yeah.
It's for sure.
Hey, but it works, you know.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yep.
And I think
It's a redhead thing.
it is. It's a redhead
be.
Oh,
thing.
great.
Must be.
And I think I'm more, as a writer, I'm more of a big picture vision. This song needs to feel this way. This song needs to accomplish this. It needs to, I guess, I just said it, overall vision,
You try
big
to
picture.
define where it's going.
Or just, I don't even know that I define it, but I just know in my head, in my heart, what the song needs to accomplish emotionally and where it needs to go and what it needs to say. But all of that is very general and vague, right? And so it's like, it's the kind of thing where you know when you see it, when you hear it, when you feel it, then you know that it's right. And Rory is very much detailed and, so I'm the big picture and he's the detail guy.
Yeah, the song has to say something to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
No,
It's got to have an
I do.
emotion that communicates to people, because you can communicate words, but what people understand and take inside is the emotion of the words, the emotion of what's happening.
It can
right?
be emotion, but it can be silliness.
Yes,
it can
absolutely.
It can be any emotion.
Absolutely, brother.
The
you
great
got
thing
it.
about writing is you
Yeah.
can try to evoke or if you're real clever, sometimes you get those songs when you get a tear and a laugh both in the same
That's
song.
right, man.
Well, Randy, you know what I'd like is just to hear what they
I
write.
want to hear what they're
I wanna
talking
hear it.
about. I think it's fun. You guys ready to hear some music?
Yeah.
What do you think, Gene?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, well, let's do that. We're going to come back here momentarily with the ROAMies.
Woohoo.